Hello and welcome back to Zennial's podcast, episode 4. Today we're going to talk about some different things, give you a different point of views, and first introducing everybody. Tonight we have Christopher and Amy, and myself. I'm Tora.
What's up?
Hello.
So, we are going to talk about something interesting at work. There are certain things you don't talk about, and we are going to talk about all of them tonight.
Wait a minute. There are certain things you don't talk about at work with certain crowds. Because if you're the three of us, you just talk about whatever and don't care.
True. But there is a politically correct that you don't talk about certain things at work. And we're going to talk about every single one of those things tonight. So, without further hesitation, the first topic we're going to go ahead and shoot for is personal issues. Personal issues, to me, that would include things that are basically in your life personally, that if I don't know you outside of work, I probably would not care about. It would not be something for me. So the first personal issue to not talk about at work that we're going to talk about at work is going to be relationship and spousal issues. Now, I'm going to ask y'all, why is this something we don't talk about at work? Other than you don't want to make your work husband jealous if he stopped buying you lunch. Why is this something you don't talk about at work?
First and foremost, it's nobody else's business but yours.
Right.
Too many people in your business. Too many people in your situation is not. It's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
It's just not.
The minute you allow people into your business, they gonna think they know you better than they do, and you never know, it might give them free a cause to dip and say, you know what, I done seen her husband, and if she can't have no good sex with him, maybe I can. That kind of situation. I'm just saying.
No, and you're absolutely right. That I've seen it happen firsthand. Like I've seen it happen firsthand. I've known it to happen firsthand. I've been an unfortunate part of it firsthand. I just know. This is one of those reasons why you probably only know my name, my employee number, and what days I'm off at any place I work at. Other than that, no. The less you know, the better I feel.
Yeah, one of those type of situations.
Oh, no, it was kind of different. I didn't care. I lived far enough out and away from everybody that you weren't about to affect my life with anything you knew.
Well, in one of my unfortunate many in my younger days, in one of my situations, my personal relationship was a relationship with my immediate supervisor. So that really caused me some shit at the job, at the workplace. It caused me a few problems with the other ladies on the cruise and whatnot. So
They just mad they couldn't find their own fireman.
They were mad. And they were mad that I found that one. Jeez, I didn't know you wanted him too, baby. You should have told me. I didn't know. Sis. Whoa, we didn't have to fall out like that. I didn't know you wanted a girl. But now that I got him, I don't think I'm supposed to give him up because I don't like you like this. But again, I think we kept that under wraps for as long as we possibly could till it got to a point where it was obvious.
It was a good damn minute before I finally had to be like, all right, so I'm gonna need you to square with me here.
I think we kept it as hidden as possible for a hot minute until it was super obvious, and I don't know where we fell off, but anyway, that's one reason to not talk about your relationships or spousal situations, because it can get ugly real quick, real fast.
Well, shit, I met my husband because of my last job.
See, which is not bad, okay? It's just you can't share everything with everybody. See, us, we be happy for you. We be cool with it. But I don't know. Speedy Gonzalez might be like, this sounds like something in the rule book that we can't have. And
thankfully, I waited until this mofo turned in his notice and was on his last day before we started dating.
And so, see, you did. I think you did it right. You did a good job.
Because I knew where he worked and I knew what he was making, and it wasn't about the money, but it was like, damn fool, you barely making enough to support yourself. How the fuck you making enough to go out too?
See, now that's another thing. Speaking about your relationship at the job, especially if you work with that person, and I'll say this, I also dated someone that I was not a supervisor over, but a little bit higher up on the ranking, and it was like, oh, I've seen your jack. Like, I know what you make. Not to say that I'm in it for the money, but to say, hey,
right.
I got kids, and yeah. That wide body lead money ain't what that is for me, but okay. Accept you for who you are. So yeah, one reason, nice reasons to keep your relationship situations out of the workplace. Also, your kids and child rearing techniques. Some people do certain things that other people be like, oh, let me see if I can call CPS. Or you might have an employee, a disgruntled employee who be like, well, I know this is how she whoop her kids, so I'm supposed to call them and tell them, hey, you need to go see her house, or whatever the situation may be.
I whoop my kids. I grew up being whooped.
But you know how, I think you kind of touched on this last episode, you know how soft some of the younger generations can be. And a lot of, sometimes parents have been feeding into it. I want to be my kid's bestie, and I don't hit my kids, and I don't spank my kids, and my kids love all this, whatever. Listen, let my grandmother have heard somebody say some stuff like that. You don't do what?
I actually can remember being in a grocery store one time where a woman, because I was getting after Brittany, and I wasn't worried about a scene because, look, I grew up in the 80s and early 90s where every mama in a 3-mile radius tuned into that. Oh, we about to gang up on a kid.
Yep. I didn't see
Okay.
I saw my neighbor spank my cousin. Go to my grandmother and tell my grandma that she spanked her, and then watch my grandmother spank my cousin because my neighbor had to spank my cousin. So, yes, I have seen
I got
that.
after her, and this lady walked up to me afterwards and she goes, I just want to say thank you. And I said, for what? She goes, for not being afraid of what anybody thought and putting a stop to your kid's tantrum. And I went, yeah, I'm an 80s kid. We don't do this shit.
We don't do that. We don't do that here. We don't.
I ain't afraid to beat your ass in the middle of the frozen food section because
Not above a fire.
Snatch you up right in the frozen food section.
Get all
For real? Okay.
all together, all the way together. Yeah, we don't do that here. I have admit that I have had one child test me once in the middle of the store, and I was like, "Oh, are you serious? Hold on!" I went over to aisle 39, tucked my card inside because I'm coming back. I'm coming back for the cart, but we need to go out to the car real quick and have a discussion. But I'm coming back for this cart, so I had to hide the cart so I can make sure I came back for it. Went out to the car, little bit of smack down, boom, boom, boom. Got him all the way together, his act right, and then came back to the car. I have dipped out for a second to get it together, but that was the first and last time it's ever happened, ever, with any of mine. I have 5. Now, I do have a 2-year-old, and I know he trying me, but Other than that,
I'll reach a certain age and be like, "Your mama too old for this. I'm gonna be able to get away with it."
oh no, because I swear it's up with him right now. He knows what it is. He knows what time it is.
I stopped spanking Brittany.
Sitting on a child. I will sit on you. I will sit on you. All my other ones know that.
No, I stopped spanking Brittany when I realized this kid was faking the tears, because no sooner did I leave a room than she was all, and I went, "Fuck, she's on."
So you already knew what it was. You knew what it was. But yeah, some people choose not to talk about child rearing. I'm one of them people because I don't agree with everybody's ways of raising their kids. And so I try to keep my opinions to myself. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's your kids.
Right.
What am I going to tell you?
Brittany and I walk a fine line between mother-daughter and best friends. But it's because at the end of the day, her and I have always
been all you had. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can say that I'm close with my kids. I am close with my kids, but they also acknowledge and recognize that I'm mom. So there's certain things they ain't gonna say and do, but there's other things that they'll come and just be like, and just bust out with me, and it's fine. But there are certain things that they be like, okay, that's my mama. Let me chill out. So now, one more personal issue I wanted to touch on. Health issues. Now, I put this out here not to say that, oh my gosh, we don't care about Susan and her cancer. I put this out.
I need to know that you got chlamydia from sleeping with Johnny.
That's exactly what I was put that out to say, that I don't care about Susan and her VD. Sis, keep your itching to yourself. Thank you for telling me, because now I'm going to watch what doors you touch, because I don't know how hard you scratch and whatnot. But please keep your VD to yourself, because that's what I'm talking. When I say health issues, I mean, I don't listen. Ew. Okay, wait a minute. Wasn't you sleeping with? Oh, you sleeping with the supervisor, right? Y'all nasty. Now I know now I know we're not to touch.
Now you got a whole ocean living up in there. Got your sea life.
Oh no, that's all. But hey, I really listen. I can't diagnose you. I'm not gonna go take a look and see what's going on for you. Please just get a professional doctor for this. I can't help you, ma'am. And I've had it before where, listen, I can't. There's nothing I can't do anything for you. I can just tell you to go to. Oh, girl, you need to get that checked out. That's all I can say. When I say health issues, that's really what I'm not saying. We don't care about you and the situation you're going through. I don't care about your chlamydia. That's what I'm saying.
I don't need to know that you got chlamydia from Johnny, because before Johnny was screwing you, Johnny was over here with, because now I can trace it back and be like,
ew. And then, yeah, and for me, you start thinking like, wait a minute, I know he was with old girl last week, and she was over there like acting like she had fire in the drawers, and then okay, this makes sense now. I don't want to do all that. I just
that's me knowing too much about too many people.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's just you, like you come to me and say, hey, I just found out I got cancer, I'm gonna be like, damn, let me know if there's anything I can do.
Right.
But you come to me and be like, I got crabs. Okay, first off, I'm gonna need you to stop visiting Red Lobster on a regular basis. Well, we didn't go to Red Lobster. Something was red and already like this when you went to go visit it. So I'm gonna need you to stop, because now I'm gonna have to think about everybody else that was with Red Lobster.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm sitting up looking at you. Well, which one was it? Because I know.
Because I got to figure out which one you've been with and then who they were with. And I got to do this contact tracing thing. Like, we were doing this before COVID. And I don't want to know where the sea party began. I don't need to know where the Little Mermaid started her journey.
And all I'm trying to figure out is, can I get somebody else on my crew? Because I don't feel comfortable in the same vehicle with you right now. I just
Right, because I don't want your crabs to try to leave the ocean and come over here. I'm gonna need them to stay off of the shore.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So, those are, yeah. What not to talk about? If you're just tuning in, you're talking about what not to talk about at work. So, the next subject, well, this will be a touch and go because I think this is kind of a preference. Religion. These days, there are so many different religions and so many different followings. It's just best not to even discuss it. And I say that because at the end of the day, whatever I believe and I'm set in, there's a good chance you're not going to change my mind. So, it's best to just ease on past that. Now, there are those who are zealot, I guess, for a better, but like a better word.
Your Bible thumpers. This is how it is.
Yeah, there are Bible thumpers, which I, being of a certain faith or denomination or whatever you want to call it, I've never understood the Bible thumpers because to me, I've seen people Bible thump and it is a serious turn off. I have not seen anybody come to Christ from a Bible thumper. It's just my own personal thing. I've never seen it happen. Not saying it hasn't. I'm just saying I've never seen it happen. And it's a complete turn off, and I don't think this is the way to get people on your side. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for. It's not the way to get people to say, hey, this is something I want to look into. It's more like, hey, I need to stay 50 feet away from you guys. But that's just my own personal opinion, and I think it's better to, because this could actually get into a whole deeper conversation where, as people like myself are not very much into religion, we're more into relationships and spirituality, and this could go a whole nother route. This is a whole nother rabbit hole, but I think it's best for in everyone's situation and case to leave that one alone. That's my own personal opinion. Now,
somewhere along the line, I think, I don't know, it's my first or second job. I learned very quickly that talking about religion or politics at work were like two of the biggest no-nos you can ever do at work. Number three was going under the sea. I mean, soon as you go under the sea, you just inviting yourself in for a whole bunch of troubles and Mr. Krabs and all of them. It's just no. So yeah, when you get into that realm of topics at work, that's definitely a no-no for me. Like I have stopped people mid-sentence, but like, I don't talk about it while I'm at work. I'm not going to talk to you about it.
I think
with the
last job in regards to religion, people learned really quickly to back away from me with it, because I can't remember how many times I was told you need Jesus. And I was like, all right, you need a leprechaun riding a unicorn. I mean, we're talking about what fictional creatures people need.
I'm pretty sure that like at least 70% of that came from the prince who told you that. So this sounds like something he would say.
Believe it or not, no.
No? Oh, he hit you one time and left you alone?
That fool learned real quick. I was the wrong white girl to mess with, because I think I put him in his place.
He needed one too many bottles of soup, and it was just after the third bottle of soup, he was good with him.
Listen, okay, for our listeners, a little background. The Zennials met up. If y'all haven't caught on yet, we know each other from a previous employer. We all happen to be at the same place at the same time trying to make money. And a lot of our stories and things that we can relate to completely come from direct knowledge of each other in the situations that we're talking about. Direct knowledge. Like, if I'm saying something worded a certain way, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
So,
and we try to bring you guys in on the narrative, because ironically we can have this whole conversation with just our faces and no words.
mm-hmm.
Which is sometimes why which explains a little bit of our dead air.
Yeah. Many a days we've had conversations at work with just
Yep.
Facial expressions and lots of head nods.
nothing needs to be said. Nothing needs to be said. As long as we're in the same office space, we already know what you're talking about. Don't even worry about it. We got you. We already know what you're talking about. We know what you said. So yeah.
People be like, what are you doing? I'm doing what I was asked to do. Amy, nobody asked you to do anything. Nah, you didn't hear anybody. Like, but that right there, that was a whole conversation. But y'all didn't say nothing. Oh, we said plenty. You don't even want to know what we said about you.
We all know exactly what we're saying. We know.
We can order food for each other just by 2 winks and a nod. The whole breakfast, lunch, and dinner menu just right there, just boom, just right there. And then make sure you get the extra condiments with that. Just that was a head nod. That was the head nod. Was the extra condiments. Yeah.
So if you guys are ever listening and you're wondering what the heck, it's because we're already on the same. For example, when it comes to the religion, I distinctly remember a young lady who swears that she was, what was she doing? Was she anointing people? Was she was blessing them? She was healing. She was healing. She was a healer. She was, if you don't carry your behind upstairs and get on that goddamn computer, get out of my office, girl. Because when you got here, you was more ratchet than me. But now you're here. Now you done healed the girl. She done got out the hospital bed and walked in everything. Lord Jesus is fine.
We ain't talking about a certain dispatcher, are we?
We are. And that's why one of the things that made me put religion on this list was like, because I know all day I was on that chick's ass. Because I couldn't believe what I know you didn't just, she got up
how she went from ratchet running her mouth about everybody to the next day we done took the Muslim thing.
She healed.
And then the week after that we were Holy Roller Baptist.
She healing.
I still never got over the healing cloth. I couldn't get past that one. That was it for me.
And for those, the religious folks, girl, this is why we need to go ahead and get on YouTube. Girl, listen, for the religious folks, we're not disclaiming it. We're just saying that for me personally, I do have an issue. I call them baby Christians. Don't be in the midst of your sin one day and then the next day trying to tell me about mine. Hold on, you just got here, baby. I've been here for a long time. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't come over here and think that you are all of a sudden holier than thou because yesterday you got baptized. Because last week I know what sinning you was doing.
Oh, you don't like part-time Christians? You don't like part-time Christians?
I don't do part-times.
That's why I denounced religion.
But that was one of the things that made me come to this that particular situation, and I just could not. It's been what 7-8 years, and I still can't really get over that. Like, she really said this out her mouth. Wow. So religion is definitely something you should probably take off the table when at work discussing, because you might find people like me who gonna give you the I got a whole resting bitch face. You don't want to see what the rest is. If I disagree with you, you gonna know I have a resting bitch face. I have a get out of my face bitch face too. Therefore, yeah, you don't want to come across people like that. You don't want to meet people like Amy, because Amy, woo, that's not the one you want to see. That's not the one you want to talk about religion too. So it's best to keep religion off of the table. Also, next, finances. Woo! Talking about money while trying to make money is not good for money.
I'm just gonna go on record first by saying no.
No. No.
Please don't talk to me about finances and we at the same job doing the same work.
And then I find out you make more money than me? Wait a minute. No, I didn't just train all of these people only to find out they making $2 more than me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hold on. Let me go find the MOD. Because no ma'am, you about to lose me. I'm about to walk out.
That's not how it is. They shouldn't have been told you what they're making, because they're not making that. Really? Because I don't see in the pay stub.
And the crazy thing about that situation for me is that before I signed on, before I was pushed into that particular position and told that this is the option that I had, I can do this or do nothing. Before I said, hey, am I gonna get a raise for this? Flat out told no. So, okay. I worked, I trained, and one of the nice people I was training, the trainees, let the cat out the bag. And I was like, that's how much you make? And he was like, don't worry, I ain't gonna name drop your name. But if I'm not here tomorrow, it's because I quit. Okay? So at lunch, let me go to the MOD at lunch. Listen, sis, by the end of the day, this gonna have to be fixed, or this is gonna be my last day. This is my warning. And there was nothing she could say because someone had already told me. Yeah, they literally told me this is what it is. So talking about what you make, it can be enlightening to other people, but not a good way. Because I've known people to make way more than they were worth.
In all seriousness, like, especially coming from where we came from, man, it you start talking numbers, and numbers do something to you mentally, especially getting back to that whole point of knowing what somebody's doing as far as work wise, and then realizing that you're number one, you're worth a lot more than what they're paying you. And yeah. I fought that, especially at the theater. I fought that a lot. Like, I knew I was worth more than what that piece of paper said every 2 weeks, and I fought them a minute for that. Never really won that battle, but it was what it was, because that brought me here. But yeah, no. It changes the morale in a building, because like
it does.
Once you start talking to people and they're like, oh well, hey, I get paid this, and well, I get paid this, and hold on, man.
When you find out that you're worth more than you were paid, when it takes 3 people to replace the job you did.
Or even worse, when there was I remember I was kind of fresh, kind of new. There was an overnight MOD that made a lot of money, a lot of money to not be on the premises. And it was like, what the heck? What? And here's the thing. For the longest, that person's manager covered it up because he knew. And it's like, wait a minute, and you're still okay with paying this guy this money when you know good dang well at 4:30 in the morning when stuff start popping off, you calling the office, you calling Chris, you calling whoever else is in the building, because you know that man is not in the building. and you still ran him that money. But I'm here doing his job.
Ran him that money faithfully while he was at the Waffle House. Faithfully.
Look, I want to know why this fool was at the Waffle House and not bringing me home or bringing back to the building some.
Or at the Waffle House or maybe at the gas station, wherever he may be.
Because this individual did not. This individual was not a fan of this. Okay? Was not a fan of that. And unfortunately, when you are the leader or in charge of individuals that you're not fans of, you don't do them correctly and you don't care. You want to make sure every 2 weeks your paycheck is signed off on, and you get a company car, to go to your other job with, or the Waffle House or the IHOP with. Eventually.
The crazy thing is that as much as you're not a fan, that's all that was there.
All that was there.
All that was there, and you thought this was gonna fly?
Never once was there anything else, and it's like every week we all had the same complaint. It's 4:30 in the morning. I can't find him. I'm calling. I don't know where he is.
That was a daily occurrence. That wasn't a weekly thing. That was a daily. Anytime he was on shift or clocked in, that was the exact.
It's 5:30 in the morning. I'm missing 3 crews and 2 trucks, and 6 planes aren't dead.
I think that's how I became the. It's 5:30. Where's Amy?
Right. That was half of that too. Because it got to the point where 5:45, 5:55, 5:57, all of a sudden, company cars start pulling into the parking lot. Hey, everything going all right this morning? Yeah, sure. All right, well, have a good morning. You didn't hear
us calling you on the radio? I was calling you on the radio. Oh boy, fell off the back of the plane in the hangar. You didn't hear that?
My battery must have died. Then you should have brought your butt back here and got one.
I didn't hear it because I was at the other job. Okay, so under finances, debt. Okay, if you'd like to talk about your personal debt in your personal business, of course, that's all on you. But there are people who will look at you and be like, "This is what you in debt for?"
Why did you talk about your debt? Like, what? Why? Why are you here?
Okay, when I say debt, also add into their child support. Because I've ran across a few individuals who will say, "Oh my gosh, I'm in back child support. Every time I come here, I'm just making money for child support. I'm just trying to pay." I mean, that
would feel sorry.
And I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you to a certain extent.
No, that's called responsibility. That's your responsibility. You had that child with that young lady. That's your responsibility. Go to work, go make that money so that young man or that young lady can have a life. You complain. I was sitting with you a couple of times listening to people complain about paying child support, and I always looked at them like,
see, and here's the thing, and I have always been like that too. However, a couple of weeks ago, someone posed a question to me, or it was a meme or something, of not wanting the kid, but you had the kid, so why do I have to pay child support when I told you I didn't want the kid? And I was like, okay, I can kind of give a little bit of leeway, but at the same time, it's like, they got condoms for this kind of shit. Your pull-out method must suck. You got to do better.
But here's my deal. You didn't want the kid, but you had no problem doing all the actions to make one. if you didn't want to wear condoms, did you see if she was on birth control? Did you see if something was in place?
Here's the thing.
Or were you hoping for divine intervention?
We've all been young and dumb and full of cum at one point in time in our lives. And I think that it's a responsibility on both parts. I used to have that thought process of that's the dude. He's supposed to have condoms. And I literally love this dude to death. I had an ex-boyfriend come and tell me, like, you responsible for your own body. Why he got to do it? Do you not understand that you have a responsibility for your body? And it kind of slapped me in the face, and I was like, oh, he do got a point. But when I say debt, that's one of the things I add in there, is because a lot of people are in debt because of child support. At the end of the day, I don't even know, but I'm gonna say this like this: look, not all the child support always go to the kid, and I say that because the government has withheld checks before, not because you didn't pay or she's doing something wrong, but because Medicaid need their money back.
Right, which in turn is a matter of he didn't pay.
Yeah, he didn't pay for the Medicaid.
Because mama wouldn't have had to be where she was, relying on full assistance, if you'd have stepped up your game and pulled up your half of it.
True. Now here's the thing. This is this right here. This is gonna be a whole nother show, because this is the whole rabbit hole. Because at the end of the day, you go through. Well, who's responsible? If I'm putting a roof over their head, food in their mouth, the least you could do is help. But at the end of the day, because I had somebody actually pose this question, but wouldn't you be doing that anyway? If you would have to still pay for your rent if you didn't have a kid. Yeah, but I got one, so I got to pay for our rent. So yeah, this is a whole nother conversation, but this is something you do not talk about at work, because I may look at you stupid like, hey.
I think one of those days that you weren't at work, there was a whole fight that broke out behind this in the office. It was an entire fight.
It must have been one of them days I wasn't there, because I would have been like,
you weren't there. I think this was one of those days that Perkoff was in the building. But yeah, whole fight broke out behind child support, lack of child support. It was crazy.
Was this at the okay, follow me. Was this at WS or CC?
This was Wolfgang Puck. So this was upstairs next to Wolfgang Puck, the whole office. Yeah.
Oh what?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said. It was one of them days where you weren't there.
It was one of them days I was off.
Yeah, was off. Yeah, it was a whole fight that broke out in the office behind it. I got called. And,
we'll talk about it later.
It was wild. There was a chair thrown. That's all I got to say.
You know it's serious. There's a chair thrown.
That was the day that Crazy Karen got kicked out.
Yes, it was.
I think wasn't I there for that? Hold on. Look, we'll talk about it later.
No. You okay? Yeah, we'll talk about this off camera. But yeah. Ames was there for that one, but yeah.
How many times she been kicked out? Because I know I was there for one of the times she been.
It was a couple. That was a couple.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about it.
This was the final straw.
Yeah.
Like, this was the moment we were all waiting for.
Forgot about her. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
That was a chair was thrown.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Okay, so when talking about money at work, I put this as my own personal pet peeve. Screwing the system. Don't come in here and try to teach me how to screw the system. Please don't come over here and say, girl, this is what you need to do to get your food stamps boosted, or this is what you need to do to get this Medicaid. Don't try to tell me how to. what I do, I clock in and I stay on the clock and I go downstairs and I might go over here and smoke a little bit, and then I go over here and talk to this person and go back over here to this person, and then I come back and I clock out, and then I tell everybody I'm on lunch. I'm here in front of the computer and I've seen you've been gone for 20 minutes already, and now you're just gonna call in and say you're on lunch? Please don't tell me how you screw the system over. I'm not interested. It's just not my cup of tea.
Don't tell me how you screw the system over and then get mad when the system catches you.
For the position that I was in, I felt like you were screwing me. Because now, I know you're supposed to be back in 10 minutes, but since you say you're just now clocking out, you're still going to take 30 minutes. So now you've had a whole 45, 50-minute lunch. Now I have to find somewhere for this and this and this aircraft to go when I've already assigned it to you. And that screwed me over. So I couldn't see you how you was getting over and you was doing, you sticking to the man. I saw how you was screwing me. So please don't converse with me about screwing the system. I'm not interested, because at that time I was somewhat part of the system and you were screwing me. You thought you was getting off, but you really was screwing me over. That was my thing. And I had a couple of crews do that, and I was like,
You. 4 hot shots on the field. I'm running 3 terminals.
Everybody on lunch. Everybody on lunch at the same time? Everybody. Okay.
Don't worry. I got this. I'm gonna prove why I don't need you. And when you get cut, you got nobody to be mad at but yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, next topic on things to not talk about at work: politics and current issues. We're just gonna dip into this and hurry up and get it over with. As we have said many shows before, we're not really into the politics like that. Not that we don't care, not that we don't know what's going on. It's just that I'm gonna go out on a limb and speak for everybody when I say this, but I think we're all just burnt out. We're so sick of seeing your ass on my TV that we just don't want to deal with you anymore. We're just burnt out, but we do understand that it is part of everyday life now, unfortunately. And we're not going to pretend it doesn't exist. We're going to touch and go. But we do have things to talk about. And here's where I'm opening everybody up. Floor is completely open to complete and utter opinions. Now, hold on. I do a little bit of research, and I do make sure I try to get my facts together. So, hold on. Politics. We will go ahead and snap on our current president and vice president. Today is what? Officially
January 18th.
January 18th, 2021, which means that our current president is still Donald Trump.
I was going to say, are we talking current president or president-elect? Because
no, we're talking current president. Our current president is still Donald Trump, and our vice president is Mike Pence. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that I'm not a fan. Neither one of them. I'm not a fan. And I don't know what happened or where the breakup was, but I'm watching the quiet, silent mini war between these two, and it tickles me a little bit. I'm a little tickled. So, all of this is all complete opinions for the most part. You guys, what do you think? Is our vice president and president at war with each other? Sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
They suck.
Personal opinion? Nope. Go ahead, Cookie. Go ahead.
Nope. I think I said it all. They suck.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Ames.
Personal opinion. I mean, personally, I think all presidents suck. They all get a power trip.
Yeah.
I think they all forget that you work for the people don't work for you.
Holy crap. Like my guy. Do you not understand the meaning of public servant? Servant, my dude. Servant.
Do I think Trump is a misogynistic, idiotic pig? Of course, and I will never debate that. I will never. I will always agree with anybody on that one. Do I think the man did some good things while he was in office? Yep, and I won't deny them. I think putting a stamp on the whole illegal immigration, making sure, everybody wanted to be all the he's again. I'm like, y'all need to stop. You're taking what the media has told you, and you're running with it. He's not against immigration. He wants you to dot your I's and cross your T's and pay your fees, like you do when you go to any other country.
I wouldn't say he's against immigration, because his wife. But,
I was gonna say wife, all his wives, like they all immigrants.
Plural, his wives. Do I think he disliked Mexicans in particular? Oh yeah. Crazy, because that's all he had working in the Trump Towers, but we're not gonna go there. Yeah, I do think he disliked. You know what?
It comes with the stereotype of how many of them came here illegally.
I don't feel like everybody could go up under that one.
No, not everybody.
There's a lot of Mexicans who came illegally, but there's a lot of Mexicans who came legally.
Right, and then you have the ones who loopholed.
So what about the kids, the dreamers?
This one is a touchy subject, and they're kids. I believe they are innocent bystanders. They are legitimately victims of the circumstance. Mom and dad tell you we're going here. You're 8, 9 years old. What are you supposed to do? No, Mom. No.
Right.
They are a victim of circumstance. However, I think that on a whole, we as a country have taken our own kids, the ones that were born here, were here legally, and we put them on the back burner. We took the ones that ended up here through no fault of their own, and we placed them here. And that's great. Everybody is entitled to, but what makes them more deserving of a free ride to college than the same kid who grew up in an impoverished area, truly getting the low end of a system that was designed to be there to help them and everything else. We are the only country in the world today that decides, oh, you're born here. Doesn't matter how your parents got here, whether they came here legally or illegally, you were born here, you're automatically granted citizenship. And I think that is where a lot of the disdain comes from. It's kind of one of those, why are we so quick to do all of this here when we have our own that we go, figure it out yourself while you get your rights.
To me, that's been for us as a country for a long time. For an example, there is so many kids in foster care who need parents, who want parents, and there are so many people who would rather go to China and get a kid, or go to Indonesia, or wherever else and get a kid. And I
because the system here is screwed.
Like that.
The system here is screwed. You have to jump through hoop after hoop after hoop in order to adopt a child here. And you have to meet this facility's, societal requirements, and this is, establishment's moral requirements. And Whereas, hey, I'm gonna hop on a plane, I'm gonna jump over to China, I'm gonna sign some paperwork. They're gonna investigate, make sure I got some money. I'm gonna have to wait 6 weeks so we can get some, legal paperwork done. And we'll go back and we'll get my kid. 2 years later, you still trying to adopt that baby that you went in to the orphanage and saw. And instead of being able to create that bond here, you had to wait 2 years. So now you're bringing home a toddler instead of the infant that you wanted. There are the fucking hoops you have to jump through in this country to adopt.
To me, that's a testament of the trash system that we have. And I say this not because necessarily the social workers or whatever are doing a bad job, but because the system itself is not built for success. And don't know how we got to this one because we were totally not talking about this. This may be something else we to not talk about it. We're gonna know. Depending on how you feel about it. But yeah. Back to our president and vice president. Impeachment. How you guys feeling about this? Because I did make a post saying I don't understand why we're going through all of this to get an impeachment, another impeachment. And then I was told by a particular friend on the line to do a little research. And I did a little research, but you guys tell me how y'all are feeling about this impeachment.
I understand the science behind it. If we do this impeachment, it means in 4 years he can't run for office again. I understand it. But I think it's like walking into a field, seeing a dead horse, and then shooting the horse again.
We need that horse.
But the horse was already dead. I mean, why are you shooting it again? Like,
just make sure. We gotta make sure that we put every single bullet we got just to unload the gun, just to be sure.
I think it's a waste of tax dollars.
Chris?
Should have it happened. I know, bad English and all. Should it have happened? I don't think so, unless there was a solid plan. And I don't think they had a solid plan. All told, I mean, it was, to me, kind of pointless unless there's a plan behind that. Other than that, it's just, yay, he was impeached for a second time. Does us no favors, does the country any favors. And I mean, and not for the same reasons that everybody thinks that, it's divisive to the country, because no, that's not it. It does no one any favors, really. So
like I said, the second impeachment is only to ensure that he can never hold the office again. He can't run for it. He'll never be able to hold it. He got his 4-year term. That's it.
Which I get. I totally get and I understand it. I was one of them people like, okay, this seems like a waste of time and energy. I get that this is what they want to do with their time and energy just to make sure he can't run. But how many kids this dude got? Didn't the Simpsons say Ivanka was going to run in 2028 anyway? So we still got to wait on that. Go fact check me if I'm wrong. But the Simpsons said, and I go by what the Simpsons, god dang it, I the Bible and then the Simpsons, okay? They the truth right there. The Simpsons is the truth. Didn't the Simpsons say Ivanka was going to run in 2028? So we just come back in 2028. See what happens.
Did she talk though? Does she have a voice? Has anybody ever heard her voice before?
Here's the thing.
Do we know what she sound like?
Man, listen, Ivanka on some slick stuff. She got into her father's cabinet and she sat back and she watched and she said, okay, this is how you do it. Okay, hold on. 2028, my beer. I got this. Watch. Mark my words. It's either her or her husband.
Oh, God forbid we get Kushner. God, if we get Kushner, I'd rather just have Trump again.
He's just as bad as his father-in-law, and that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be her or husband, because I just really don't believe that his sons is smart enough. I don't feel like they have the brain power. I just don't.
Barron. The only one who's remotely smart enough to ever hold office and be someone who's completely as they should be is Barron.
That's it. That's it. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if y'all, they don't show him much, but Baron gives zero fucks.
Baron's like, can I please just go to school? Can I please move back to my house in Manhattan?
Baron don't care. Baron don't give a damn. Baron do not care. He ain't trying to be there. He was not trying to be there when he first got there.
That boy has been miserable. That boy is the only person to have ever walked into the White House, know that he was a first kid, and be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yep. He don't care. Baron don't care at all. So last on this situation, on this particular person, these two people, the Capitol issue. Y'all knew it was coming. We said we wasn't gonna do it last week. We'll do it again over with. That's just the Capitol issue. What a shit show. What a shit show. That was woo! Talk about your entitlement. Your rights. What do y'all have? What are your opinions?
Shit show. That's all I got for you, shit show. I don't understand how anyone thought that was a good ass idea. Like, somebody really just sat at home and was like, this is a good ass idea just to go storm the Capitol.
My question honestly is, what next? Okay, now that you've gotten in there, if everything had popped off the way that they wanted or planned or whatever, and then what? Like, would you still be there? Would there be a hostage situation? Would you be like, we came, we saw, we sat on Nancy's desk, we're good? What was the plan after that? Like, then what? Ames? We're gonna have to YouTube one. We're gonna have to put this one on YouTube one day. The facials.
All right, so I by no means endorse stupidity. Okay, I really don't. But and I understand why there is the discord in what took place, and I do understand the unjustness of actions and everything else. I do. And again, I don't know why you endorse stupidity. But we have an entire group of people that are upset about a group of people who stormed a building that's the people's building. We're mad at people for literally taking what is technically theirs. I know.
Not necessarily that you took it, but it was the way it was done. It was the utter disrespect, the utter thought of the privilege and entitlement.
No, and again, I get it. And when I'm reading everything, there's an entire scene from a movie about a decade back, Across the Universe, and a song that's, God, even decades older, Revolution. I think the way that it was done was improper. I think the fact that we decided we were going to broadcast over social media and everything else, but
let me tell you, my name. That was the stupidest shit. Let me tell you what I'm about to do. Real G's move in silence. We all know that.
As I like to remind certain people, nobody remembers the martyr. Okay, you threw yourself out there. You went like, okay. You essentially took Paul Revere and made him useless. There was no, the redcoats are coming, the redcoats are coming. The redcoats were like, hey, we're on our way. Like, I think due to social media, it has taken the responsibility of moving the masses in silence away.
Because everybody's like, I'm trying to ask, like, what is the social media connection to what you're saying?
Because supposedly this was all done, you know, and I don't really get on Twitter, and God knows I don't follow anything political on Twitter. This all came from a tweet from Trump. You know, da 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 da. I don't know what the tweet was. I've seen like screenshots of it and everything else. But I'm just like, okay, this wouldn't have happened if you were, you know, on the old game of telephone. You know, where it was everything traveled legitimately by word of mouth, from my lips to your ear, with nothing in between. You know, it started with Sammy loves Jenny and turned into Jenny got pregnant by Sammy's dad. What? That's not the way it.
What?
You remember that game of telephone?
Yeah.
No, it just magically. And I think that's where we ended up.
Yeah.
Like, I know people who are upset about what took place, and they're not upset that it took place. They're upset because of the party that did it. Like, had it been reversed and been their party, the actions would have been acceptable.
Because wait, I mean, I can see this too. I can see this a couple of ways, and either way, I'm just like, huh?
Yeah, and that was, again, I don't endorse stupidity. And I'll say, and everybody's like, well, you just know that this isn't white privilege stepping up. This isn't anything. And this is me looking at it from both sides. You know, do I understand what the thought process was? Yes. Do I agree that the execution of said plan was completely wrong? Yes. Do I understand the hypocrisy of what took place and how the actions played out? Yes. But everybody wanted to be mad because, well, they're trespassing on it. Okay, but it's a government people that's legitimately owned by the people. It's the one place where the people had a right to be and decided we're going to take it back, which is why I said the execution of it is wrong.
But then what? You take back the building, and then what? Nobody's signing off on the paperwork that you need them to sign off on. Nobody's doing anything that you want them to do other than the fact, great, now you have a building. Kudos to you. The electricity bill sucks. What are you going to do?
No, I mean, like I said, I don't endorse stupidity. The entire execution of the plan was wrong.
So, okay, I guess my question is, what was the plan? To be heard or seen or...
To disrupt.
Don't? Well, they did that.
The ultimate plan was to disrupt and cause the discord in a transfer of power.
Okay.
But they chose, the problem is they chose the wrong location.
The transfer of power. Disrupt the transfer of power because you're pissed you lost. That is the most utter bullshit. Let that had happened when Obama had to transfer power with Donald Trump.
No, it wasn't a matter of transfer of presidential power. Like, they get it. There was nothing.
They didn't get it. They did not get it because they swear up and down he won. They didn't get it. They did not get it. They didn't get it. And I think that's where we have now been faced head on with, there are two Americas. There are two. It's like, as much as us in the middle try to come together and push us together, it's like there's this one and there's this one. A transfer of power. You're pissed off because the person you voted for did not win. But this is the democracy we live in. Not that I'm for this person at all, but Hillary Clinton didn't win. She got all the popular votes and didn't win because the Electoral College said no. Should her
This was the first time the Electoral College made an intelligent decision.
Not saying they didn't. Saying that should the people who voted for her sorry, I don't know why that tickled me, but should the people who voted for her have stormed the Capitol? This is our building, we're taking this shit back.
Like I said, again, the major issue, and okay, so we chose the Capitol building. We chose the F with some people who we think, because what nobody understands is the votes were being calculated. They were not being cast by anybody in that building. That's just it. The votes had already been cast. They were being verified. They were being verified. The Electoral College votes had already been cast. So, which is why I said it was a disagreement on the transfer of power, because it culminated on the same day that the most critical decision being made in this country, after, the most critical decision in 2021 was taking place in Georgia. Because that vote in Georgia was going to determine just how our Senate was going to sit, which is why I say they chose the wrong location.
Pissed off at the Senate vote than the presidential. I mean, shit. So go to Georgia with the shit. Like, I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying. Wrong location.
Ask her what happened. Like, why are you in DC? Why are you there with this?
I think people are about to find out what they've been trying to avoid and trying to steer themselves away from, in my personal opinion, is what we are about to fully enter.
Okay. Here's my thing, and I guess we've been on this one for a second, but my eyes, complete disclaimer. Again, this section is complete and utter opinion of ours, our own personal opinions. We don't know what either one of us is going to say. Not rehearsed. My personal opinion is this: I feel like I watched a bunch of grown-ass, white privileged, entitled crybabies cry about losing. I watched these people whine and complain about a system that I've been doing my whole entire life, that I've been told to, hey, shut up and take it. And now that the tables have turned, shit is different. It's unfair now. But 15, 20 years ago, it wasn't unfair. That's just what it was. I sat here and watched people who thought that they were going to take down the government or steal a building or vandalize a building or whatever they thought they was going to do, and then get away with it. And post the shit on social media and then get away, fly back in your private jet to Frisco, Miss Realtor, and not get charged. Bitch, you got charged. I don't think I'm gonna get charged because it was a peaceful protest. Bitch, you stood in front of a broken window. Charge that hoe. Everybody who was there, if you can find them, charge them. You know why? Because if I was there, I'd be dead. I wouldn't have the opportunity to see a day in court. I would be dead. My mother would be planning my funeral. So yeah, do I think they all need to be charged? Absolutely. Find every last one of them crybaby ass bastards and charge all of them. I can't take a knee, but you can go destroy a building. Fuck out of here. That is my own personal opinion about that situation, about that issue. If you want to be heard, do what you've been telling me to do. Go vote.
No, like I said, I would no way endorse stupidity.
Because that was stupid. It was utter. You know what? It was dumb. You just had to sit here like, somebody come look at this. Come look at this bullshit here.
And that was my whole take on it. Was somebody come look at this bullshit? Please come look at this bullshit. What are y'all doing? Why?
Look, I'm trying to find out why ain't nobody shot yet.
That too. That
I'm
too.
trying to find out where everybody living. I know he didn't just walk her down the stairs. She got
Holding her hand while they go down the stairs.
She got maced in the face because it's a revolution. Bitch, you're a soldier. You're in the revolution. You can't be on my team. You can't be on my team. Crying and shit. Have a fire. Where the fire hoses? Where the fucking German shepherds at? That's all I'm saying. I mean, shit. You ain't gotta do me a certain way, but at least do to them what you did to me. That's all I'm saying. Where's resistance? Where was the National Guard? Oh, it's DC and they're not a state, so they had to call here and they had to wait for the. Y'all ain't got now National Guard in DC. Really? All I'm saying is I listen, if this is what you want to do and this is how you protest, I'm all for the protest. If you believe in a certain thing and you feel like what you believe in is right, I'm all for that. I'm not for you not getting hit with no rubber bullets. I'm not for you not getting sprayed with mace. I'm not for, listen, if I have to go through it, if I have to worry about going through it, you came for a civil war. You came for this. This is what you expected. This is what you wanted. This is what you planned. I don't feel like they got the fair war that they should have. That's all I'm saying.
The hypocrisy of the situation is, and I'll be the first one to call it out, but I think because when you look out amongst the crowd, though, it wasn't all just, was it predominantly white? Yes. And
yeah. You know what? You gonna see them house Negroes every now and then. They exist. We know Bojangles out there tap dancing and shucking and jiving. We know that. The coons exist. You gonna see them. I wasn't expecting not to see them. I would have been surprised if I didn't see nobody out there. I would have been completely surprised. So yeah, get his ass too. Get Tommy ass too. Get Uncle Tom's ass too. Please and thank you. His ass needs to be charged. If I know him, turning his ass in. Hurry. And I'm not saying that they are shucking and jiving or cooning or whatever just because they were there. I'm saying because you're an idiot too, who believes in this stupidity of a system, who don't like you. And I say this because I've dated one. I'm just saying that when it came to this capital issue, I just feel like the same resistance that I would have got, they should have got. And the reason they didn't get it is not because they're good constituents. It's because they're a lighter shade than I am.
Can I ask the inevitable question? I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna double all the way back. We're gonna double all the way back. What was the plan? Did we have a plan? Was there a goal we was working on? Why were we there?
Not in there
what are you gonna do?
If you really plan on using the zip ties, I'm just saying, who are you gonna use them on?
Like, if your plan was to
mail,
if your plan was to kidnap and harm said officials and you didn't accomplish said job, did you have a backup plan? Was there A, B, C, D? Which selection? Who was the choir director? Who was directing this? Like,
and on top of that,
what was the plan?
We can't even just blame these people for this, because at the end of the day, it got to be an inside job. Nobody can convince me that somebody in Congress didn't know what was about to go down. I can't be convinced of that. No one knew. No one. Nobody. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
Y'all, And I understand what this poor officer did, but you're gonna tell me this one officer, okay, who's being hailed as a hero because he directed them away from the floor. He's got 20 people marching at him. You're gonna tell me that these people just followed him, that he somehow led them away from where he's one, they're 40.
Here's my thing. Cause I was listen, my question when I first saw that tape was, why he ain't shoot? Is he not a cop fearing for his life? Why he didn't shoot? But logically speaking, if he had a shot and you got 40 people coming, you probably gonna get what, 4 or 5? And the rest is gonna get you. So maybe it might have been a good idea. But it was questionable about, you know what, if they want to hail this man as a hero.
No, I agree.
What you do? But I just want to know, I was just like, man, I thought when cops feared for their life, they shot. Ain't that what they said about Philando Castile?
That is absolutely positively correct.
I thought when he feared for your life, he shot. So that's why I was like, damn, he ain't gonna shoot. That was just my own opinion, because I would have feared for my life. Hell, I was fearing for his life watching the video. So I'm just saying, I thought that was just part of the cop. You know, that's part of the resume, the agenda. That's part of inside the bylaws. Whenever I fear for my life, I shoot. I thought that's what happened.
Well, you know, like I said, again, this man single-handedly pulled how many people away?
I want to know why he single-handedly did it. Where are people at? You mean to tell me it's just one cop there? Just one? But then again, there's a whole lot of shit coming out about the Capitol Police right now, isn't it? That's why they put that black lady in charge. But I'm trying to think, is that the same one that punched that one lady in the nose? Because it's so kudos to her.
No, not the same one. And that's funny, but yeah, no, not the same one.
Oh, it's not? It's not?
No, the young lady that punched that lady in the nose was a security guard for, I think, GW University.
And her daughter called out.
Her daughter called her out, just straight called her out.
I was like, her daughter just called her out on Twitter. Mom, this you? I thought you said I couldn't go to the protest because it was violent. This you? I said, oh man, that's gonna be my child.
Man,
Oh yeah.
that was funny though. Like, moms, is this you? It's like,
of a bloody nose. Anyway, girl.
Gotcha.
Okay, so capital issue. I guess we hit on that. I don't think we'll be talking about that anymore. Other than me personally, I will be laughing at everybody who gets arrested because your ignorant ass put it on Facebook and your ignorant ass put it on Snapchat or whatever social media you put it on and thought you wasn't gonna get caught. Let me go rob a bank, and while inside the bank, I'm taking pictures.
Thank you, Capitol protesters, for proving to us why it is we can't remake Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Because y'all went ahead and put yourself on World Star Hip Hop.
You dummies, you stupids. When you go do some illegal shit, when you go to another state, or not state, what is DC? What is DC? DC's not a state, it's a...
DC is a city. That's all DC is. DC's a city.
Territory or some shit. When you go somewhere else and then do some illegal shit, try not to put it on social media. Listen, everybody don't need to know your business. We don't have a show like that. What not to put on social media? We don't need to know your whole life. I swear I don't need to see that you.
I don't need to see your dirty drawers.
I swear I don't need to know who you fucking right now. I promise I don't. I really don't. As long as it's not the same person I'm fucking, we're good. I just don't need to know. So anyway, the next point we gonna hurry up and hit on: Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Kamala, Joe Biden, and Miss Harris. Thoughts and opinions. We'll open the floor. Joe got some pedophile-ish ways.
Look, I'm all for like the old politician thought process of go out and kiss the babies. Okay. But the babies, not the 8-year-old little girls that are looking at you like, please don't touch me.
Listen, I'm here's the thing. I get super uncomfortable when I see this, especially seeing the children uncomfortable, because they're uncomfortable in the process, and now I'm super uncomfortable because the kids are uncomfortable, and it does look kind of off, and it looks kind of weird, and I know you're super friendly, but don't fucking touch me.
Right?
That's on any end. That's like, hey, I don't like random people coming up and hugging me, but that's because I'm a vibey energy person, and whatever shit you're going through, I do not want you touching me with that. Therefore, I don't like that. But I'm not okay.
My own husband doesn't even just walk up and touch me. Like, he will assess the situation and be like, okay, you see me. You see I'm about to touch you. He approaches me like you do a rabid dog.
I don't approach rabid dogs, so go ahead. How does he do it?
Well, the dog that you aren't quite sure is rabid. Like, is she going to bite me if I touch her? Or is it going to be welcome?
Uh-huh.
So,
I mean, knowing you, Amy, I feel like he's doing the right thing.
You know,
like,
and
the situation correctly.
When you look at the pictures of Biden with his family, okay, like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Trump was cringy in the way that he is with his daughter, but she obviously accepted it.
Trump is still cringy. Those pictures creep me the fuck out. I feel that pedophilia too. The only reason it's not blown up is because that is his child, as where these other kids are not his kids.
But no, if you look at the pictures of like Biden with his granddaughter, like, you can read her face, and her face is all like
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know he had grandkids. I mean, I really do not follow these people like that. I know this is so bad for me to be talking about and not really following them like this, but sir, listen, I'm just not interested. I'm just
but I mean, it's just, you see these kids that are in Biden's presence, and they all have this what's going to happen next face. And I realize it could be a very, very big media portrayal.
It could be. It could be what it is, and creepy, because it's fucking creepy to me. I don't like it. I don't like, but that's for me. That's politicians. I don't like politicians. I don't trust politicians like that. I believe Pizzagate is a true and utter thing. So when I think about Pizzagate, I look at every politician like that.
Why do you believe Pizzagate is a thing?
Life imitates art for the most part. I think that we have been shown these things for a long time, but we just did not realize what we were looking at. I believe that this is part of what they do because they can get away with it. The utter fact of this was even a thing brought to light and then quickly disappeared. It's suspicious to me. And I just feel like...
What was the thing? Because, forgive me, Pizzagate never made sense to me because I never understood what the hell we were talking about. We were talking about a pizza place, a pizza parlor? I mean, what are we talking about? I think that's my biggest thing when it comes down to some of these stories. It's like,
And no, I get it. I get it. Okay, because I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I know all the facts about this stuff. But there was kids going missing, and they said that you call into this particular pizza parlor and you order a certain pizza, and they say that this particular pizza meant that you want to buy a kid.
Pizzagate came to light when what's his face?
Which one?
Killed himself while in federal custody.
Did it? Because I thought it was right before him.
No, because that is when Pizzagate.
We're gonna do a show with him and Pizzagate and Wayfair. We're gonna clear this shit out. But continue. Yeah.
That is when it all came to be, because supposedly you would make your order. And in making your order, within the child sex trafficking ring, they would handpick, and then you weren't necessarily delivered a pizza so much as a ticket to a private island.
Oh, I didn't know that part. I thought it was more of okay, we know this guy wants this kid over here. We're just gonna drop this kid over here.
And it is, the private island is supposedly, and I say supposedly, one of those where the top 1% hang. The top 1% and their friends and colleagues and...
Listen, let me tell you something. The top 1%, I cannot verify this because I haven't seen it with my eyes, but them some nasty motherfuckers, I'm telling you. Them some nasty people.
Wayfair there is supposedly a desk that you can search for on the Wayfair site. And within the description of the desk is a link. It is hidden. You actually have to be one of those people that constantly run your mouse over all the words that you're reading. And you have to hit the certain combination of letters within the description in order to highlight the link. That link takes you to it's a deep web trail.
Now here's the thing. Like I said, we'll do a whole episode over this. Wayfair. Before all of that came out about Wayfair, I saw it but didn't realize what I was looking at. For example, I was there literally looking for a shower curtain, and I was like, why the fuck does this shower curtain cost $1,500? Shower curtain. Why does this Sasha shower curtain cost $1,500? And like 3 months later is when it started coming out like, oh, this is not a shower curtain, this is the child you're paying for. And then it started matching up names. That shit was just too much for me. Like, I was looking at this like, what the hell?
Right.
How would somebody would have paid $1,500 for a shower curtain, and then it matches up like you're paying for a kid. And then they started matching the names of these missing kids to these kids, the names on Wayfair, and it's like crazy, different, original names, unique names that you wouldn't spell the way they're spelled commonly, spelled exactly the same way. And it's like, how coincidental is this? And that's where I got, but see, anyway, Wayfair, that's a whole nother story. We can get back to let me write it down. We're gonna come back to that. We definitely gonna hit on all of them, because anyway, I'm sorry. Back to Pizzagate and pedophilia and Joe Biden. And I believe that this is what politicians do. Not all of them, mind you, but this is what a lot of politicians, especially the old, nasty, grimy, dirty, disgusting ones, this is what they do.
I think it's been going on for a lot longer than most people want to admit, strictly just because of
the advent of social media
Mm.
and the internet.
Mm.
I think there's always been the closed doors. I think thanks to the advent of the World Wide Web and social media, some of those doors are being left open.
Uh-huh.
Some
And
of
look at me.
them,
My nosy ass is looking in. What y'all got going on in there?
but you got to be careful about looking in, because you start looking in, you start getting tied too.
Yep, and they see you looking. Yeah, I know. I had an ex tell me that a long time ago too. Once you start looking, they see you looking.
Right. And it's, I mean, I watch a lot of like stupid YouTube stuff. And I get a lot of these people who decide, hey, we're going to visit the deep dark web. We're going to go down this rabbit hole. And you just kind of want to look at them and go, okay, you can hide your IP, you can IP hop, you can do a little bit of everything. Primarily hackers are the ones who get away with it the best. And
therefore, that is not a hole that I will be diving down into.
Right. I need it easily accessible. I'm not trying to follow internet breadcrumbs. I don't need to be Gretel in the Hansel and Gretel story. I'm not trying to.
My brain can't handle it. I can't, like, my physical, spiritual, mental self can't handle it. I'm too much of an empath. I can't do it. I personally cannot handle it. Therefore, that I will not be traveling down. So, I do have another question though. And Amy, I definitely want to get your take on this. What do you guys think about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Miss Harris's relationship with the Black community? Because I got some words. I just want y'all's words first.
Do we care? Is my take on that, because neither one of them can do anything for the community any more than anyone else that was elected into that office could do for the Black community. You can promise me the world and give me nothing. So that's my thought process when it comes down to that section of the world leadership, so to speak, or the country's leadership. It doesn't really, and this is why I dislike the current presidency for a whole lot of things, but the fact that he was a known racist before he got there, I knew you didn't like people. I knew you didn't like people way back when. So this did not bother me. I'm not upset about your lack of compassion or your lack of community with an entire community of people that is in your country. Again, we've known that since the Central Park 5 and even before that. So we already knew. When it comes down to Biden and Harris's administration, again, a lot of times we always try to focus on what can the presidency or Congress or the House of Representatives do for the Black community, and the answer is absolutely nothing. What can the Black community do for itself? A whole lot of things. The problem is that we got to get off our ass and start figuring out how to do it for ourselves versus waiting for somebody else to do it for us, because best believe no one's going to do it for us but us. So to answer your question, I don't really care what their relationship is with the Black community. The Black community needs to have a relationship with itself. The Black community needs to heal itself. The Black community needs to fix itself. And once it does that, we'll be fine.
That's one of those, it falls on the you have to find your own happiness type of thought process. You can't heal me. You can't make me better. You can't do anything. I have to want to do this on my own. you and when it comes to Miss Harris, my question is, you decided to reach out and try to bridge that gap within the community only when you decided to run for this particular office, because you didn't run as this race when you took your previous government office. So why is it you are suddenly, I get it. And in the world today where one day you can be male and the next day you can be female, and the next day after this, you're neither, you're gender fluid, you're they, them. And to each their own. Again, please note that I am not knocking this. I don't care. Live your life how you want to live your life. Okay? But you can't, when the platform works for you, be this. And then now that it's going to give you an edge, because it's not that you're the first Black president or the first Black vice president. It's now you're going to be the first Black female in this high position of power. Because when you ran for your other political office, which you have still yet to relinquish that seat, and you should have relinquished that seat because you cannot hold both government seats at the same time.
Tomorrow. She resigns the seat on tomorrow. Seat is already appointed to the next person. She gets inaugurated on what, Wednesday?
Right,
already.
But it should have been relinquished and left to sit, because this administration has already, and this goes for anybody, it's not just, but I mean, it's one of those previous senators and Congress people have never held both seats, even when they were waiting for inauguration. But when she held the current seat she has now, she did not run under her current race. And that's my issue with her. I mean, props to her. I got mad respect for the woman. She now holds the second highest position of power in this country and is the first woman to do so. I got mad respect for the woman. Don't get me wrong. On that alone, my issue with her comes from, which race do you want to be? Which race? Because again, you chose this race for this seat, but you chose this race for this seat. I'd have more respect for you across the board if you'd have just maintained.
Okay, so when it comes to the love-hate relationship with the Black communities, because they both have that. Donald Trump has said some nasty things. Joe Biden has said some nasty things. Kamala has done some nasty things. So when it comes to that, I totally 110% agree with Chris. You're waiting on a savior, and I don't understand why you need to do this yourself. And I think that's one of our things. We want to wait on somebody and put somebody in position to do this. I don't see why we can't do it ourselves. It's been done. It's not like it has never been done. It's been done. You don't need someone to come and give you something. You can get it.
You're looking for the Disney story.
I'm not waiting on nobody's prince.
No, you're not. But I mean, in general, you have a group of them that are waiting for the Disney story. You're waiting for the prince to come in and save you. What I need you to be is Merida from Brave, who says, "F a prince, I got this shit."
And that was my whole. That's what I got. What you were saying. I knew you wasn't directing at me. I got what you were saying.
I think people forgot how we got here. Like, we didn't get here off of the back of President Kennedy or President Eisenhower or either administration. We did not get here because of that. The Johnson administration was kind enough to finish the job that was started with the Kennedy administration, but we absolutely put in the work on the streets. Work was put in on the street. So if you fail to understand history, if you fail to understand or gather the knowledge of your ancestors or of the past, you're going to be looking for Prince Charming, and Prince Charming ain't coming.
Yeah,
because somebody told you.
History are doomed to repeat it.
Doomed to repeat it, exactly. You've seen all these stories of happy endings and all that good stuff. No, our story has never been a happy ending. The African American community has never had a happy ending anywhere. People lost lives just for us to be able to have the ability to vote and sit at the front of the goddamn bus. Yet we're concerned about government. Again, goes back to what we talked about second episode. We control the government. You don't have enough skill set to understand that government you need to and want to control is the local government, not the federal government. Start at the bottom and work your way up. I mean, they made a whole song about it. Yeah. Historically, if you look back at the past and realize and realize what we had to go through to even get what we got, there's still a lot more fighting left. There's still a lot more fighting left that needs to be done in order for us to get to the places that we want to get to, but it has to be done on the ground. It has to be done on the ground to a point where no one can miss it, which slides into the next topic of Black Lives Matter. The message was there. The message is there. Okay. It's the actual title of the organization. However, the message has gotten so skewed and so off-putting that no one knows what the message is anymore, including the people that are in these organizations. They don't know what the message is anymore. And the one thing that should always stand out is that our lives matter just as much as anybody else's lives matter, regardless of what we're doing. Point blank, plain simple. But unfortunately,
that was very evident and very clear with the Capitol situation. Like, that was like, you had to be completely blind to not see. Blind people saw that shit. You can't even be blind to not see.
You know what? You can't even say blind people could see that because Stevie saw it, okay? When Stevie saw it,
he saw it and did what we did. Somebody come look at this.
When Stevie saw it and said, come look at this bullshit, you knew it was a rap, okay? Stevie said bullshit on TV. You knew it was a rap, all right? You knew it was a rap. We was in trouble when Stevie started cussing. I'm just saying.
I have been taking a very more easy approach with this. Okay, 2013, I believe it's 2013 when the Black Lives Matter movement started. I was gung-ho and I was all for it. I backed off, and let me tell you why. Not to say that Black lives don't matter, because of course they do, but to say that, in my own personal opinion, I feel like it's become very corporate. And that's how I feel about Black lives. That's how I feel about breast cancer. That's how I feel about a lot of different things, because a lot of corporations have taken a movement or a situation and made it their own. Um, if Nike is attached to it, I don't want any parts of it. If Sarah Lee, I saw something for like Sarah Lee breast cancer. I'm not completely convinced that my money would be going to these causes. So if I'm not sending you my money directly, I won't donate. And that may be ugly and that might not be the best PC thing, but I lean away from that stuff. Do Black Lives Matter? Absolutely. I think everybody on here knows that. We all know that.
I think it boils down to when you start getting a corporate backing, you're left with, okay, so what's in it for them?
Exactly.
And I think when a lot of the corporate backing started is when you started to notice that a lot of those with the ill intent, and I know for me, just seeing what I saw in the media, it was really funny. You'd have all these huge, Black Lives Matters rallies, and, they would somehow segue into riots. And it was never in the areas where they should have been. It was always in the communities that you sit here and say, this is what we're fighting for. Well, you ain't fighting for it when you tearing it down. You're telling me Black Lives Matters, but you tearing down the Black-owned business.
See, now that I have never quite understood that, and that's been something that bothered me when I was a kid watching the LA riots. I didn't understand.
And this is where I think a lot of the issues.
You're totally in the wrong neighborhood. Why are you not in Beverly Hills with this shit?
Right.
I couldn't understand what was going on.
As the pigmentally challenged, it makes you understand why you had a lot of people who kind of went against it and went, I understand what you're saying, and I want to stand behind you, but if it doesn't matter to you, because you're obvious, you say that it does, but then you're doing this. You're tearing down your own community, and you're telling me that I'm supposed to care about your life and the lives of those like you, but you don't care. And it wasn't even about, when people would start throwing in, well, nobody cares about Black on Black violence. Take that out of it, okay? Take it out of it. We're not talking about what you do within this and what we do within this and what we do within this. For someone like me, I looked at it and I went, okay, I understand what you're saying and I stand behind it. But I'm not gonna stand out here and support what you're doing when your actions are speaking louder than your words. Which is why, in white bread America, everybody was all, and I'm like, stop, because you're getting behind the mess. You're getting behind the mess. Stop. I know what it's like to stand there and watch my friends get the side eye when we both walk into a building. I'm the one dressed like trash. They're the ones dressed to the nines with only a wallet and a cell phone in their hand. I'm the one with the big bag dressed like trash, but they get in the side eye. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've watched it. I've experienced it. I know what it's like to be with someone and be followed because, Cookie, how many times leaving the airport were we followed in my car? Because here's this little white girl and this big black guy in her passenger seat. What the hell's going on here?
Too many times.
So again, it's one of those, for me, living in white bread America, I've experienced it, which is why when I have these people that are all, and I'm like, stop. I've seen your friends list. It looks like a roll of toilet paper. It's white from beginning to end. Okay. And yes, is my friends list predominantly white? I won't deny it. I'm white. I don't deny it. Is there a sporadic sprinkling of different? Yes. Am I careful about those that I keep within my inner circle? Absolutely. But I've lived in the neighborhoods where I was the minority. I've seen the way that the police cruise those neighborhoods versus the ones that were predominantly white. I've been
in the areas where how I managed to walk a street at night and make it from one end to the other. And it wasn't even about the color of anybody's skin. It was just because it was a bad area. Was it predominantly one race versus the other? Absolutely. Did I let it stop me? Because at the end of the day, I knew that this dude standing here on the corner looking super thuggish, like he's ready to jump somebody, was gonna jump whoever jumped me, because here I am minding my own, walking down the street. I wasn't pretending to be something that I wasn't. I wasn't trying to, make myself dress down and fit in. No, I was comfortable in my skin. I had on what I had on, whether I was dressed to the nines or dressed like I just got out of bed. I looked like I belonged because I was confident enough in myself. I didn't present, I can't help this, and the look that it gives sometimes, but there was never,
yeah.
And it's living here to watch all these people try to jump on a train, which is where I go back to I'm glad you're on the train. Welcome to the party. But I'm gonna need you to go to the back of the train. I'm gonna need you to read the literature. I'm gonna need you to immerse yourself in it fully. I'm gonna need you to understand what it's like to be invited to the cookout and know that you can't show up with mayonnaise. Because no. I'm gonna need you to bring that mustard potato salad. I'm gonna need you.
Please, thank you.
I'm gonna need you to. I'm gonna need you to invite some flavor into your life. Because you white bread with mayonnaise, ham.
Oh no, not the ham.
Okay, and I admit I'm a white bread with ham. Forget the mayonnaise. I just want the white bread and the ham. But
yeah.
I'm gonna roll up, and even if I don't like them, I'm gonna eat some collard greens. Because it depends on who makes them.
That's a true statement across the board. It literally depends on
who makes them. And you ain't been to a cookout until you watched 4 people argue over whose potato salad recipe is better while there's 4 potato salads sitting on the table. And whether you gonna walk out of there with a hand upside the back of your head, a hand across your face, a hand upside your backside, or you gonna walk away with an apple pie, depends on which freaking potato salad you decide you're gonna eat. And you'll laugh because you know I'm right.
I need to know who made it. Who made it? Who made it? Oh, her.
And that's usually the who made it. First comment out of who made it. Just
who made it?
She made it. No, I'm good.
And it's one of those. Y'all over here arguing over who cooked the fish better. Bitch, where I come from, we all cook it the same way. We all cook it the same way. We ain't cooking your white people fish.
Odd.
And maybe it's just a Southern thing, okay? But I asked them up here if they knew what noodling was. Maybe it's just the redneck in me. You can see the Tora's face. Tora is not real sure what noodling is.
They had no idea. For the good people at home, Amy, explain noodling.
Okay, so noodling is when you decide to take yourself out to the muddy riverbanks and you walk along and feel with your feet until you find a hole. And once you find that hole, make sure that your head's still above water for a little bit, and you basically decide to fist a riverbank. Is what it boils down to. But you actually going after catfish. Because you go noodling for catfish, you about to have a damn good fish fry. I don't even like fish, but I know this.
You go fist a riverbank. Did she ask you for that? Did she say that she doing something that she doing? You just don't go fist her and she didn't ask you for that.
just violating the riverbank. Just violating.
Sorry, nobody asked for that.
Violations.
Nobody asked for that. Okay, nobody.
Then you pull something back out of it. Oh man. Fish from them.
No.
Oh,
Right.
But
Yeah.
oh man, that's.
And then I asked them if they like knew what frog gigging was, and going. And she's like, no, frogs here are too small. And I'm like, bitch, you ain't eating a whole frog. And the fact that you just like that's just full finger food. You just pop the whole damn thing. And again, these are things I eat. These are things I know how to fix.
Yeah.
She's like, no, but we do fish boils. And I went, what?
fish boil. What is a fish boil?
Where they
Did
take
you
a
say
whole
boil or broil?
boil. Where they take a whole goddamn fish and throw it in some boiling water and then serve that shit for people to eat. I was like, what kind of satanic witchcraft shit is that?
So wait a minute. Wait. I just need to know. Have you tried it, and what does it taste like?
Okay, look, I don't eat fish to begin with. But now you try
I know.
But you boil it? Why would you boil a fish? If I boil a fish, I'm doing it solely to make some fish stock.
I'm at a lot. Who boils fish?
I need somebody to explain to me what boiled fish tastes like. Like I need to find somebody that can tell me what boiled fish tastes like.
Listen, I don't even want to know. I'm good on that.
But they're acceptable. I ain't never heard Chef Ramsay ever go, we're gonna have some boiled fish. No, you're gonna have it fried, you're gonna have it grilled, you're gonna have it baked. You may even have it raw, but ain't nobody
boiling. This just sounds so wrong.
Why do I feel like the fish are reanimated when you boil them? So it's like you just throw the fish back in the water, boil it, fish just comes back to life or something. I don't know. This is what I'm thinking when I hear fish boil.
And I looked at it and I went, that's some white people shit if I ever heard about it. I was like, y'all be doing white people shit and don't even realize how white you are. And I'm coming from some predominantly white neighborhoods. Like, you'll be eating walleye and cod, and that's what you're frying. Like, it somehow got some flavor. And what y'all call flavor is some flour, some eggs, and some salt and pepper.
Flour, eggs, salt, pepper. What do they make? What is that? What is that?
That's how they fry things. I don't know that these motherfuckers know what beer batter is.
You know what?
Let's stop.
You need to get you a ticket back to Texas. I don't know what you're doing over there.
I'm trying to educate.
Ooh,
You know what?
Brittany's boyfriend ain't never had enchiladas till I made them for him.
Who? What? Huh? What?
Brittany's boyfriend had never had enchiladas until I made them.
Oh, Tora not gonna make it through the rest of this podcast. Oh,
Tora's like, no, we about to go. We about to travel to the Midwest, throw Amy in a bag, and drag her back home.
Look, they're starving you up there.
obviously.
You're not eating correctly.
Obviously.
You're not eating. You're starving.
No,
I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay.
I know how to cook.
Okay, I mean,
That's the only blessing in disguise that we got here.
girl, some garlic salt,
Man,
I got it.
Lowry's.
some Lowry's.
Ooh.
We need, Lord Jesus.
All right, so to swing this back together, Lowry seasoned salt. Tora, I had the same question back in 92, 93, 92. I think was the riots, was the LA riots. I had the same questions that you did. And I got a chance to listen to a lot of people talk as far as, why as to what they did. As far as
The Vietnamese people.
yeah, destroying their neighborhood, and had a lot to do with you know others being in their neighborhood, which I kind of understand the logic, but then again, it's still I don't understand why you would destroy your own neighborhood. And even now, like I hate to say this, but I don't believe that, and I find it hard to believe that all of the quote unquote riots were caused by or started by individuals that were protesting. I don't believe that.
Okay, and I'm in my conspiracy theorist mode here. I don't think that any riot is necessarily caused by a protester. Not any of them. Not LA, not anything in Atlanta, not anything in DC. Okay? There is always an asshole,
That
a
throws a
bad
chair.
apple. There's
That,
always someone. Listen, man,
that
listen.
throws a chair.
There's always somebody in there starting some shit.
That
Now,
throws a chair.
here's the
Throw
thing.
that first chair.
I'm gonna put this out here, and I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna leave it out here, and I'll let y'all do y'all own research. But Jacob, the horn dude, look into that. Look into that.
Oh, you mean the Simpsons prediction?
That guy. Look into it.
With
Look
groundskeeper Willie. Yeah.
because it's deeper. Listen, man, I ain't even trying to be funny. I'm not at all. But have you ever considered that the normal Trumpster would not be going on a food protest because his food needs to be organic? Think about what I'm telling you, okay? He wouldn't eat because they weren't serving him organic food in jail. Does that sound like a Trumpster to you? Does that sound like the stereotypical Trumpster to you? Because his food wasn't organic. Okay? Do a little bit more digging, a little bit more research, and you can find his ass at a Black Lives Matter protest.
It's kind of like those lovely kids that were in the gay bar shooting in Florida, and he was at this rally here. What's his name? And he's got a YouTube channel, and it's funny because his name changes from place to place. And he's the plant. He plays the 15-year-old victim. He plays the 17-year-old victim, and in actuality, he's 24.
Listen.
Yo, yeah, I've heard about that one.
It could be a whole nother show too. But I'm telling you, everybody who's in the middle of the shit ain't always the shit starters. Let me rephrase that. Everybody who starts the shit is not always the ones in the middle of it. It's not necessarily their fight. That dude, I honestly believe that dude was getting paid. The thing is that your dumb ass wore the same shit to that protest that you wore to the Black Lives Matter protest. People's gonna pick this. Man, listen, I don't know what nobody know, but social media, fuck the FBI. We don't even need they ass. We got this by ourselves. We'll figure out who the fuck you is by ourselves. We don't need no FBI.
Wait, more importantly, that ain't a costume you can pick up at Party City.
Not at all.
That they need even one you can find on Wish.
And my thing is that you all in the camera, like you want to be seen. Oh, you auditioning for your next role?
Suge Knight said it best. And dancing in the videos.
All in the videos.
All in the video.
All in the camera. Go to death row, bitch.
I don't understand. man, and I know we're getting way off topic here, or we're staying on topic. Now that I think about it, but I don't understand how or why so much of this was recorded, was put up on social media, and people seriously thought that there was not going to be any repercussions. Like, you basically
Ignorance. It's flat out
that
ignorance and
that too,
entitlement.
but
That's all it is.
you
There's no
basically
other explanation to this.
you basically tried to you basically either coup or insurrection, whichever verbiage you want to use there. You basically broke the law, but didn't expect to get the full force of the law. And then you wanna rant in the middle of Walmarts and the airports talking about the police are treating you like black people. Welcome to the club.
No fly list.
You
Where
didn't
your ass going?
you didn't see it coming.
Your ass off this plane. Get on back in there.
Like, you didn't see this coming.
talk, talk about a goddamn
Reality check.
turning.
Reality check.
What did our mamas tell us growing up? You want to act like a thug? I'm
Huh?
gonna treat you like one.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. That's what Mama said.
Wait a minute. What caught me? What? Listen, I look at these people who get drug out the airport. This shit is so fucking funny to me because I do recall a time in this administration when the no-fly list was a necessary situation. It was completely loved and so
Yes.
necessary. Now all of a sudden your ass on the no-fly list and the shit ain't fair. The shit
Yes.
ain't right. Oh my God. Bitch, get your ass off the plane and go to jail. Go straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect.
Now I collect $200. They're treating me
See,
like
now
a
they
black
collecting
person.
the $200. Now they collecting that $200.
Oh,
They're treating me like a black person. I don't understand it.
the thought that you even said that, so the acknowledgement, man.
It's like you can't be totally blind to the fact that there are people in this country that are treated differently from other people in this country. No, I mean this entire country was taken away from Native Americans. So let's start there. And then this country was built on the backs of those said Native Americans and African slaves that are brought over here, plus any
Chinese.
right, plus any other group of or race of people that decided to come over here that wasn't white. So you have generations upon generations upon generations. You can't tell me that you have not seen this or don't know this, or ignorance isn't even bliss in this situation. Like, no.
It's not about them not seeing and not knowing. It's just that never in their life they expect to be treated like that. And that's what it is. It's like, holy shit, I can't believe you're treating me this way.
Wait, let me stop you for a second.
I'm not even going like this. How I be going? I be feeling at the airport like, what you mean? I gotta go through security? Man,
Right.
Security. Do you know what color badge I used to have? How dare you?
Right.
I gotta go through security.
Let me say this. These are the same people that had a problem in 2012. Think about it. 2012, these are the same people. You got it, Amy. These are the same people in 2012 that had a problem.
Listen, all I'm thinking about is Mayan predictions of 2012. What are y'all talking about?
That was when this lovely movement.
No.
Well, this is when the lovely movement first made its first major move and kind of came to the forefront. It was when they finally kind of gave, essentially in 2012, what happened was, instead of it just being a thought and something that we want to do, much like BSDO has always been it's been a thought in motion until we could bring it to fruition. Okay. And right at the end of 2020, we finally went, boom, here we are. Okay. Up until 2012, when um, we had our first black presidential candidate, Black Lives Matter was a thought. It was a thought moving to fruition. And then as soon as we named a candidate, we went boom, here we are.
So in 2012, when the fairer skinned people thought, swore up and down that Barack Obama was reelected president, and then he was going to treat them wrong, and black people were going to get all this whatever. You remember the Tea Party and that situation behind the Tea Party.
Okay.
You remember that's when you started, and I don't know how much you were paying attention back then, but that's why none of this is surprising to me at all. This is when you start first hearing the words Antifa. This is when you first started hearing, Proud Boys, but they weren't Proud Boys. They were somebody else. I can't remember who they were.
Antifa is.
You still don't know what Antifa is? I don't understand why.
I looked it up, but I ain't gonna lie to you, baby. I'm so uninterested in Antifa.
Anti-fascist. But can somebody explain? Does anybody know what a fascist really is, though? Again, I'm a history kid, so to me, all of this is just like you guys are.
I think we're gonna have to do a political show one day.
You guys are batshit crazy. It was like you people are batshit crazy. For those who don't remember the past, you are doomed to repeat the same mistakes, and we are literally making the same mistakes that were made before.
What?
Hallelujah. Okay.
Talk about tits.
Right. There you go.
It's the proverbial tea.
Exactly. So, I mean, I listen again, and like we said, first episode, second episode, don't usually talk politics. Doesn't mean I don't. Doesn't mean I don't pay attention. I am a outside of music, my second favorite love, educational wise, is history. I study a lot of history. A lot of history.
I ain't really with the poli sci. I don't like politics. I feel like they're so divisive, and you are literally putting a human being on a pedestal, expecting miracles out of this person, and it's not gonna happen. And it's like politics to me is like dating this one dude, right? And he fucked you over so many times, but he swore up and down he's gonna be different, he's gonna be different, he's gonna be different, and you keep getting the same results. That's politics for me.
That's
And
also
like,
the definition
I would like to not deal with your ass at all.
That's also the definition of insanity too. But okay.
Politics is literally the definition of insanity.
Different results, but the same damn thing.
But I will say this while we're on this little subject, before we move on, I found out some things. So I was doing a little research, and Proud Boys. I just want to spew a little bit out that I found out. So Proud Boys originated under the leadership of Gavin McInnes. He is I believe he's Canadian.
The hell.
But in 2007, Gavin decided to distance himself from Proud Boys, saying that he is alt-light, not alt-right. Okay? Alt-light is a right-wing political movement separate from mainstream conservatism and far-right white nationalists. They sees white nationalists see whites as a race and want to maintain white racial and national ideology. That's white nationals. Now he separated himself.
No. Mr. McGinnis decided, I'm not beer, I'm O'Doul's.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You non-alcoholic beer.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I'm not coffee, I'm decaf. Bitch, you
now here Doing a little bit more research, a little bit more digging, I think I figured out why he separated himself. So dig this one. Gavin is Vice Media co-founder. Okay, the co-founder of Vice Media, right? Vice Media is, I'm sure, of course, we all know, but just for the people at home, Vice Media is a American American Canadian digital media and broadcasting company. Disney owns 21% blended stake with A&E. Right? Okay. Keep going, keep going. Um 21st Century Fox holds 6% stake, who is also owned by who? Disney. So of course Gavin had to distance himself. Disney. He was gonna fuck up his own money. Here's a little, also another little.
So Disney owned 26% stock in the damn company.
Who?
Wait. Hold on. Here's what we need to look at and understand, okay? And just follow the Disney train of thought. Disney owns The Simpsons.
They own what?
The Simpsons.
Now, now, 8 years prior to Disney getting ownership of, this is where it gets epic, The Simpsons predicted the buyout.
Saw that. Saw that one. Saw that one.
Okay, so y'all understand that as much as we all love Disney and we all grew up watching it, do y'all see the correlation between government, reality, and the media?
You know what? With all of this, I think I would like to have someone explain to me how this is not becoming a monopoly. How is this not a monopoly?
Because the antitrust laws changed in the mid to late 90s when corporations were lining pockets. So therefore, it's not looked at as a monopoly or a antitrust situation because it falls within the quote unquote rules that were created. Now, if this was early 90s, late 80s, yeah, somebody would have looked at it and be like, you know what? Doesn't pass the sniff test. That's why it's so hard now for government officials to go back and say, well, we want to crack down on Facebook or we want to crack down on Google for, selling information or having a monopoly, X, Y, Z, because everything is a monopoly now. There are only 6 to 10 companies that own anything, really own it. I mean, really own it. And once you start digging a little deeper into the business side of a lot of things, you realize that there are about 6 to 10 companies that own it, and they get it past the government because they're lobbying. They're paying the government. Like they're paying, they're giving the government, the government's giving them. It's a hand wash his hand situation. But before it's always been this way. So this is nothing new. Like none of this is new. None of it. Now, every single bit of this is the same shit. BS that's been going on for centuries. So, yeah.
So here's something else that was a little teeny bit interesting to me. So, after in 2017, the I think it was 2017. Yes, 2017, the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. The Proud Boys tried to separate themselves from that. And in separating themselves, they got what is the dude name? Enrique. Enrique Tarrio as the chairman. He's an Afro-Cuban as the chairman of the Proud Boys. He's the one that they always put up there in front. You know, we're not racist. Look who we have. We have Enrique. He's like our leader. He's our chairman. Look, the way I look at Enrique is the same way Kanye felt about the Gap. Okay, if we go back to college dropout, I believe it was college dropout. Kanye specifically said that at the Gap, they put him when the black people walk in, they put him in the front of the stove. That's how I feel about Enrique and the Proud Boys. I just wanted to go ahead and drop that little tidbit before we move on to our next subject. I think that we definitely need to hit on a history and politics show. But the original show that we're doing tonight is what not to talk about at work. And the next topic is sex. Now, although it may be one of our favorite subjects, and damn it, it's one of mine. Talking about sex at work is not always the best thing. Cause shit comes out in the wash. Okay? Accidentally meaning and talking to people about things about sex. There has been many a story that I wish I never heard. There has been many a times where I just was like, oh, damn, that's where they be at. I wish I never knew that.
I'm trying to stay away.
Y'all were where?
A little bit.
No. So there's talking about sex, you learn about new things, I guess. There could be good. It could be good to talk about it with your people and learn something new. Oh, that's what you did. Let me try that out. That might be good, but it could be bad in the sense of learning that the same dude, the dude you fucking, I was fucking him last year, some kind of like that. That's not good. It can definitely be ugly by finding out stuff you didn't want to find out. So sex is something you got to tread light on sex when you at work. You can't really talk about sex to everybody.
No. No, please don't. Please don't. Please.
Here's my question. You guys ever walk in on people having sex at work?
Yes.
Dude, I work in a hotel and I sometimes do housekeeping. Do you know what it's like to bang on a door to go clean a room to be told come back later?
I've worked in a few hotels myself, so I am quite familiar.
And then enter said room and find things you didn't want to see.
Oh Lord, Jesus, we're not gonna talk about my.
Yeah.
You know what? There's been times in parking lots that I've, maybe it'd be 7 in the morning. I'm just now leaving, and oh, wow, I didn't know anybody had time to leave that there. Like, what the hell? How did that happen? Like, I thought we was all on the same block. We was all at the same job working, but I guess somebody had enough time to get one quick nut in. I guess I don't know how that got there.
There's nothing like being someone's boss and having to go search to find them, only to find them engaged in activities that shouldn't be happening on work property.
Yeah, nasty, dirty dogs. Jesus.
Yeah, so yeah, lots of stories. Lots
What
of
stories do you like to have?
way more stories than I wanted to have. My favorites were leaving work at 1 o'clock in the afternoon after being there all night. Yeah, finding underwear in the parking lot or walking past cars and there were still bodies in said cars.
I've done that many a day too.
Intertwined together, things of that nature. And it's just like, no.
That reminds me of that episode of Family Guy. You letting all the steak out. Y'all ever seen that episode?
Yes, I have.
In the backseat of the car.
Yeah.
talking about open the door. He rolled the window down and said, "You're letting all the stink out."
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Y'all are nasty. That's gross. That's gross.
I mean, no, sex in the workplace is just it's just not a good.
No.
No,
And it's a good, quick, easy way to catch a sexual harassment case.
don't we know this?
That's why you go outside the company. You can do it at work. You just got to go outside the company.
Mm. Mm.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got for that one. Mm.
Y'all notice I stayed real quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way of catching a case.
No.
Depending on who you talking to, what y'all talking about, and if they want to participate in the whole conversation.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Sex should probably be off the table when having
Period.
conversations at work.
Period.
Yeah.
Please don't do it. Don't do it. Wait till you outside the doors, like down the street and around the corner.
Off the clock.
Get somebody's phone number.
Hello. Do y'all have to do this up here? Is all
Get-
I'm saying.
I
Get an
want you
email.
to
I know
know
it's nighttime, but do you have to do this here right now?
we had conflicting schedules. We made use of parking lots and the front seats of cars, all right? But we also made sure we were far, far away from all people walking by.
Okay, look, so I can't even justify this. And now that you actually said it, I actually now remember this. Yeah.
I will have you know that it was nobody within the theater.
Right. I just remember
I
remember
chose
you
the.
telling me
Yeah.
the story a couple times. Yeah.
Remember that short skirt I came in one day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've never had any sex at the job.
Well,
Wow.
good for you, Tora. All right. Great.
Good for me. Now,
Gonna give
there's
me
been some episodes, some heavy petting. There's been a little shouting in the elevators a couple of times, or over at
What?
the gas pump a few times, but ain't never been no sex.
What elevators, girl?
The elevators from upstairs to the taxi. Look, you get it in as soon as you get it in. If I'm up here 12 hours a day and he up here 12 hours a day, when we get back to the house, we straight sleep. So we do a little make out session in the elevator. Kept pressing the button. Let's go back upstairs. No, let's go back downstairs. Yeah, a couple of times. Tora, where are you at? I'm on lunch. I'm coming. I'm coming back from lunch. Give me a minute. I'm over at the gas pump. Hold on.
How many times did I call you out on that? I'm coming. Yeah, I know who you are.
Always my favorite bit on the radio. Just always my favorite bit on the radio.
Tora, you staying for overtime? I'm staying for overtime tonight. So yeah, I mean, I never been in a lavatory before. I could never understand that. That shit is small. It is tight. I don't care what size plane you're on.
There you go.
Small.
That's it right there. It's like it's too small. Like how do you contort your body to make that enjoyable?
Amy, you look like you got the answer to that question.
No, Amy's just been in behind too many people. That's all. But yeah, Ames, you got answers to that question?
When you want things, you make things happen. And sometimes you don't find out just how limber you are until you're put into predicaments. Okay? As someone who has personally been in the floorboard under a steering wheel without the seat being moved of a small compact car, there are things that you can make happen.
Listen, let me get my Kanye on real quick. How, Sway? How? How, Sway? How? I mean, I can see it. I got my own war stories, but how, Sway? Like compact car steering wheel.
The same way you can make it happen in the front seat of a Camaro.
All right, Tora, end the show.
Look, this is why we don't have these discussions at work, okay? Because then you'll find out just what kind of freaks you messing with. Okay?
Right.
Because I'm a look. Listen.
Do y'all not remember me getting in trouble for wearing a collar to work?
I do remember that.
I almost did the voice. I almost did the voice. It almost came out.
Well,
yeah, I was there for that. Yeah.
You know, I think I was in a good position because the dude I was happening to dealing with was really, really close to the GM. And we
about to say the elevator. He was close to the elevator.
The elevator.
In the elevator. Okay.
But we always got to use the manager's truck. So
the same one that had the camera in it. Just before or after the camera?
Before.
Okay.
Wait.
Maybe there's a lot of cameras there. I don't know. The gray one?
I mean, I did spend an awful lot of time at a certain gate, if y'all remember.
Yeah.
And I got special treatment at that gate.
I thought that's why you were there, because there's a person at the gate that was like, "Hey, that's my girl."
When you go inside the gatehouse and you get in back rubs and you being fed, and you get special visits in your truck.
It sounds nice.
Right.
And then they installed the cameras. And suddenly it was, meet me in the 3rd floor parking garage.
Choose. You better be
on the civilian side.
Let's go get some gas. Okay. We on bull. We ain't got no gas card. Let's go get the gas.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Cookie, how many times did I fight you about those trips to Westport to go put gas in my truck? I didn't like going to Westport. We know I didn't like going to Westport, but I didn't fight you.
I don't want to go. I'm going. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, anyway, so those are the things that you do not discuss at work. Basically, sex, religion, politics, and current events, finances, personal issues. And relationship, spousal issues, and whatnot. So, I guess this is where we tell you thank you for coming out. God bless you and good night.
That's all we got for you.
Look, I ain't even religious, but anybody who's listening to this is probably gonna need a little bit of Jesus in their lives after the fact.
Yeah, this one was something. Hit us up on Twitter at Zennials Podcast. Hit us at our email, zennialspodcast7270 @gmail. We are at Zennials Podcast on Facebook and the Zennials Podcast on Instagram. Also, look for us on Spotify, Apple, Google, Anchor, all under Zennials Podcast. Any encouraging words? Goodbye.
The elevator, the gas pump, 3rd floor parking garages.
Whatever happens.
Hey, good episode. Glad to have this conversation with you guys, and yeah.
See y'all next week.
See you guys, and yeah, we out.